Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Mission Impossible. Not the movie, just the concept. A mission that's impossible, you know? There's a lot of things that you might have perceived as impossible, but, over the years as technology progresses, we get there. Slowly but surely, humanity moves along, we progress, we solve some of these perceived impossible problems, we make the impossible possible through our intelligence, hard work, and perseverance. But sometimes, what's impossible is just truly impossible. And so I guess where I'm going with this is, I think I finally found what can truly be described as mission impossible. And that's having a good faith, reasonable conversation and debate with these out of control lunatic leftists. It's impossible. Not possible. I just can't do it, and I don't know if we'll ever get there as a society, as humanity. These people are not to be reasoned with. Here's the question: how do you address issues and talk policy, and especially address controversial issues, and sometimes very concerning controversial issues, if the left doesn't want to have the conversation? They just want to point the finger and say, you're a racist, shut you down, censor you, or just throw a freaking tantrum. It's impossible to have a conversation on the issue of immigration, for instance, and especially its economic effects. Probably not a good idea to just be allowing people in the country in mass by the millions upon millions. Not good for the cost of housing, cost of living, not good for local wages. But if you want to have that conversation and you're talking about particular people or particular groups that are having a negative impact economically on American citizens, you're a racist. Here we go again. Mission impossible, trying to reason with these leftoids. Trump triggers the left-wing world. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Okay, so some context as to what we're talking about here. There's an issue being raised by residents of Springfield, Ohio, claiming that their neighborhood has essentially been overrun by illegal migrants, specifically originating from Haiti. A lot of clips like this are bouncing around the internet.
We have just brought too many daggone people to come in here and be able to apply for free stuff. And here we are working, paying those taxes every week for what? What? So she can't get any help? So we can't get through the doors of Social Security so I can file for retirement?
These Haitians are running into trash cans. They're running into buildings. They're running into... they flipping cars in the middle of the street. And I don't know how, y'all can be comfortable with this. I don't know, who's getting paid from it. I honestly feel like someone's getting paid from it in the background. You got a bunch of people on a bus getting dropped off at a gas station to come down here. I know a single mom that FaceTimed me this morning at the welfare office that really need something. And it's nothing but immigrants over there. And I don't even want to seem like I'm coming down on the immigrants, because it's the people that's bringing them down here. Because wherever they're at, that's what they're used to, bro. They're in the park grabbing up ducks by their neck and cutting their head off and walking off with them and eating them. And who is getting paid? How much money is y'all really getting paid, to bring them over here? I know it's deeper than them. I know that's where they come from, and that's what they do. That's their country. I don't know what they got going on over there, but they can't do that over here.
And I'm done with what I'm seeing. It is so unsafe in my neighborhood anymore. I have the homeless that were trying to camp out, and I have made concessions with them, and I try to help them the best I can to keep them from trying to squat on my property. But it is so unsafe. I have men that cannot speak English in my front yard screaming at me, throwing mattresses in my front yard, throwing trash in my front yard. And I can't. Look at me, I weigh 95 pounds. I couldn't defend myself if I had to. Our city services are overwhelmed and understaffed. But who's protecting us? If we're protecting them, who's protecting me? I want out of this town. I am sorry.
The same issues keep popping up. Of course, there's the economic concerns related to housing, but then there's also concerns of assimilation and respecting the country's culture and standards. Supposedly, and there's photos and video evidence to back this up, many of the migrants there are apparently kidnapping people's pets and also catching random animals in the neighborhoods. Like this, for instance, as you see an individual who caught himself a quite sizable goose here. But apparently the migrants there are taking these animals and straight up barbecuing them on the streets. Here's a police dash cam video of a woman being arrested for supposedly eating a cat.
What did you do? Why'd you kill the cat? Smile for me. Smile with your teeth. Go like this. Did you eat that cat? Did you eat it? No, why'd you kill it? Did you guys see all this?
No, we pulled up and she was just laying there with it.
Did you see her eating it?
Eating it.
She was eating it?
Yeah, she was.
You call the Humane Society, see if they'll come pick this cat up. It's deceased.
And so obviously this is concerning to people. Essentially you have this city that's a long ways away from the southern border getting inundated with illegal migrants. Fox News reported on this back on the 13th of July, 2024. Ohio City plunged into housing crisis after 15,000 plus migrants arrive, setting us up to fail. And if you look at the graphic, I mean, it pretty much tells you all that you need to know. 15,000 to 20,000 Haitian migrants dropped in a city with a population of 58,000 people. That's insane. That's like 1/3 of the current population. So that right there is basically the issue. People want to have the conversation. And of course, that's exactly what's happening on X. And what do you know? Internet sleuths located the perfect video once again. I think the video will pretty much speak for itself.
Starting with our administration, we gave TPS, temporary protected status, to Haitian migrants, 55,000. And then more recently, we extended temporary protected status to over 100,000 Haitian migrants for that very reason, that they need support, they need protection.
Kamala Harris, in charge of causing the root causes of migration, is once again outed and exposed as the cause of the American migration crisis. What a surprise, but I'm sure she's done a 180, a flip-flop on that one by now. But anyways, this clip starts bouncing around, and then Donald Trump posts this on Truth Social. 20,000 Haitian migrants were dumped into the small town of Springfield, Ohio. Here is border czar Kamala Harris bragging about bringing them into our country. Quote, they need our support. But apparently, typical leftist thinking, what they meant was they need your support, unsuspecting people of Springfield, Ohio. So Trump points out the issue, probably an important issue to be discussing and especially focused on the policy facts. Is this good policy? But no, of course, we can't have that conversation. Apparently, we're all just racist.
Well, let me just say this, that Haitians have been the victims of, not only our country, but Canada and France for years, historically. They're black, they're poor. It's the poorest country in the hemisphere. They have been exploited, and it continues all the time. They are not, it does not appear that they are seen in the same way that they see others. Haitians have been the victims because they were the first country to fight off, the repression of France. And of course, France have made them pay a big price for it. Yes, I think they're treated differently because they're black, because they are Haitians, and because traditionally they have not been treated as human beings.
Yup, and there you have it. Impossible to have a conversation, impossible to properly diagnose issues and then problem solve. You can't have an honest conversation about whether or not this is good policy for the American people because Democrats have weaponized race and weaponized our differences. Oh, you can't say this one thing because you're a racist. If you have an issue with Haitian migrants, 20,000 of them being dumped in a town of 58,000, causing a housing crisis with no actual plan from the government to properly implement these people into society or to assimilate them. I mean, for Pete's sakes, most of them are illegal, so they should probably be deported, but the government doesn't want to do that. And so they'd rather just dump these people undocumented, unaccounted for in your neighborhood with no plan to deal with it. And of course, their only defense, their only real plan is if you have an issue with it, they're going to call you racist. How utterly absurd. But of course, it's par for the course, it's what you'd expect. It's just a leftist defense tactic. More proof of their cowardice. They'd rather play these ridiculous games and call you names than actually have the conversation. Always running and ducking from the truth. It's so blatantly obvious what they're doing. I just really hope that people are paying attention, because it seems like, at least to a certain extent, a lot of people are, and people are waking up. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.